Our next speaker is Katarzyna Geilikman. She's going to talk about organizing for agility in Equinor, international energy company. So let us introduce Katarzyna to the stage. So Mika, can you? Okay, hi Katarzyna, how are you?
Hi.
Welcome here. Nice to have international speakers also in this conference.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, your presentation is about the huge effort the Equinor has to invest in order to really build their own agile model during the past years. So you're going to talk about all the successes and also hopefully some failures also during this journey. So what I'm curious about is that what made you share this story with us here in ScanAgile?
Well, I am a true believer in transparency and openness. I believe that we can learn from each other, regardless if we are competitors or partners. And today, during this wonderful conference, we have this incredible opportunity to expand our learning, maybe confirm something, or maybe realize that we are going wrong direction.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm really anxious to hear about this. But can you tell me a bit more about your role in this transformation?
I've been working in Agile coaches team for the last 5 years. So I've seen a lot, actually. Well, if I had to really explain what has happened in the last 5 years, probably I would need a week. So this next 30 minutes, it's going to be this Equinor experience in a nutshell, actually. Yes, there's been ups, there's been downs, and there's been tons of interesting learning for sure.
Okay, I think everybody's waiting to me to get out of the stage and let you to begin. So let's see if we can. Okay. So some reason I cannot see Katarzyna, you. Can you hear me still?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, so we're something wrong with the video. So last time we had same problem with ESCO.
Hi, Hilkka is here saying that I can hear her.
Okay, so I can hear also Katarzyna.
So please in the chat, can you hear her? Yeah, and Vesa says yes, so people can hear her.
Yeah. Okay. How about my presentation? Can you see my slides right now?
We can share slides too. Yes.
How wonderful. So
okay, so let's.
Okay, so do you want to do a little checkup? So if you put your camera off and put it back on, so if we can still see you after that one.
I could give it a go, just turning on and off again, off and on.
Okay.
How about now?
Okay, some people can see you. Maybe this is something now happening with Remo. So mysterious things, but I think we continue with you because everybody can hear you and they can see your slides. So thank you, Katarzyna. Stage is yours.
Thank you very much for that. I am going to start right now. So to me, the orchestra is actually a perfect example of a high-performing team. Think of how orchestra creates music. A large group of individuals all performing their own roles, yet somehow they are perfectly in sync. If it's done well, it might be the most beautiful example of teamwork you will ever hear. But what if your company consists of hundreds of orchestras spread around the world? How well are they playing together? Are they playing in harmony? Or are they slightly out of tune? How they can achieve performance and scale? Well, welcome to Equinor, formerly known as Statoil. My name is Katarzyna Geilikman, and I am an enterprise agile coach in the largest company in Scandinavia and energy provider present in more than 30 countries around the world. We operate around the world, and over the years, we have developed this can-do attitude based on decades of experience from working in the harshest and most inhospitable climates on Earth, the Norwegian continental shelf. What began as a Norwegian adventure has become a global story. Our exploration in emerging markets is often a continuation of innovation efforts, best practices developed here in North Sea. As a company expanding across the globe, our culture of working travels too. Our passion, openness, partnership, equality, and persistence, we like to call it our DNA. So probably you're thinking, why change? Why to fix something what works well? Well, we are in a business where there is a large degree of uncertainty for many reasons. Geopolitical issues, changing demand for products, or variation in production volumes. The list is actually endless. Things that affect the oil price directly affect our income. We know for certain that the future is uncertain, and I know how cliche it sounds. But because of that, we need to continuously evolve and step up our learning so we can stay ahead of this game. We must learn from previous experiences. And I have to say that here in Equinor, we are very good at reactive learning. Once the project is done or initiative is complete, we learn. We have lessons learned. But also we need to increasingly learn by experimentation, integration of new technologies, partner solutions, and of course, individual knowledge. We need to be more creative and proactive. Well, in 2014, we needed an oil price of $100 per barrel to fund our investments. And today, guess what? Well, we need to be able to do it at half of this price. Just over the last 10 years, we have seen how technology has overtaken the oil industry. And this is visualized here in the largest companies worldwide index. The data is new oil, and valuations are actually showing it. The acceleration, the innovation and disruption, well, this can be seen all around us. We live in a world of fast change. Technology changes the way we live, and that happens at lightning pace. Technology changes how we communicate with each other, how we organize conferences, how we create and gather knowledge, how we listen to the music. We can hardly imagine a world like that just a decade ago, right? As a result, companies continuously have to adapt to products and services they offer and also how they produce them and how they sell them. Companies are desperately trying to be proactive by imagining what the world could be like tomorrow and how our products and services will look tomorrow. What is actually really shocking is that at the same time, companies are shortening their lifespan in the last 10 decades. There are several factors related to this curve. One of them is, again, the technology and increasing speed of development. Well, the consequences are actually striking because in 50 years, the average lifetime of a company has been reduced from 62 years down to 17 years. This means, of course, statistically, that most companies will face serious struggles in the next 5 to 8 years. So Are you prepared? Is my company prepared for that? Well, the world is changing more rapidly, faster than ever before, and organizations of every size are struggling to remain in the eyes of their customers. The simple fact that the average lifespan has decreased by more than 50 years in the last century demonstrates that not all organizations are actually prepared for new reality. So, coming back to my orchestra, it is only high-performing, adaptable, and agile organizations that will leverage, lead, and thrive in this ambiguous and unpredictable markets. We call it business agility. Equinor first steps in agile transformations were sometime during 2013. 5 years later, I can tell you, no, well, more than 5 years later, I can tell you that this is not only a one-time event. It is a journey designed to achieve high performance at two levels, individual and organizational. So far, I just told you a little bit about our why. Why do we need to change? And now I'd like to tell you more about our approach. Agile isn't here not to replace Lean or any other methods, working methods or standards we have in Equinor. It is here as a toolbox where we can use this mindset and different frameworks to get the job done. We use S-curve to visualize how it all fits together. The S-curve shows the innovation from its slow beginnings as technology processes or product is being developed to this acceleration phase, that steeper line, as it matures, to finally that stabilization phase over time where the curve is flattened. This is, of course, simplified visualization, and probably, I know that already, there will be a lot of questions about that. So let me explain a little bit more. So in the first phase, when we don't have a product or we don't know what's the most pressing problem, we can use design thinking process to build the business cases or create the proof of concept. Or you can also call it creating prototypes that we want to further try out. These are also called in here MVCs, minimum valuable concepts. Design thinking also can be run in some design sprints before the work moves over to the next phase. When we have defined those concepts, we want to test it out. We move further and we start using Agile to build the product and deliver increments, measure them and learn from them, pivot or persevere. These are also called in here minimum valuable products. Normally at this phase, we will use in Equinor Scrum or Kanban, which is of course well known to you. In the starting phase, we can go several sprints or iterations before we have that first minimum valuable product delivered to the customer. In the last step, and that is of course after some time, we can apply Lean principles when a product is actually stable and we want to scale it and improve it. Here we can use, or we often use, value stream mapping or other Lean tools to get out the best output, to remove bottlenecks and to remove waste. And lean thinking helps us to scale the product and continuously improve it. As I mentioned, this is a very simplified model, so there is nothing wrong in using lean principles and practices in other phases on the S-curve. But what I would like you to remember from this is that these are all toolboxes that are here to help us to get the most output when doing work. And most of all, these toolboxes share the same mindset, improvement and the customer value. So how do we actually run projects today in Equinor? How do we create that symphony I like to talk about? So we usually see that we are very strong in vision and planning. And then we actually get, oh, wait a second, the light went off in here. I will turn it on again. I apologize for this. I guess I'm not moving fast enough. So where was I? So we are very good at that long range vision and planning. And then we actually assign the work to the teams to start executing. Usually we have a plan for the long range and then a short range plan as well. But the key is actually to bridge this gap between a vision and a roadmap and connect it to daily work that the teams are executing on. So this is actually what we want to see when we are scaling the idea. Always connect the vision and the daily work. Big room planning is a bridge, is that key in linking the vision and the execution. We have in here a model which we call Agile ways of working in scale at Equinor, which is actually supporting that bridge and that filling in that gap. So let me explain the Agile ways of working at scale in Equinor. So we will have a team level, which is actually responsible for all deliveries. And there is also a product owner under the team who is actually executing the work. You will also have a product area level with a product area lead supporting the feature backlog. And then you have a portfolio level, which is maintaining the epic backlog. The whole concept that everything has a connection we will see in here, where portfolio level is connecting to the ambition to action, which some of you may know from beyond budgeting concept, or also connected to A3. And all of these initiatives are planned in IT arenas or other arenas with decision gates. In the end, it is connecting the vision and strategy that is set. But the whole purpose in here, in this model, is that the vision and the purpose comes down from the portfolio level to the product area and down to the team, and getting fast feedback loops up again. So the faster we can create this loop, better we can align and adjust the customer journey if necessary. So this is actually what we are working with, Agile at scale. Let me see what I have, what else I have in here. yes, let me spend a few moments in here explaining key roles and ceremonies in this model. In the portfolio level, the key role is to have an assigned portfolio owner. The portfolio owner has the authority over the portfolio decisions. Also, that individual is writing the epics, prioritizing the epic backlog. Some additional responsibilities in here would be providing overall guidelines regarding business objectives, reviewing business cases and deciding whether to continue or stop, revise or just terminate those in-flight activities. And lastly, portfolio owners are running portfolio planning, during which any progress and is actually reviewed. Key ceremonies in here would be that portfolio wall meetings, which are monthly meetings, and also monthly portfolio retrospective. And of course, I forgot the big room planning done on quarterly basis. If we have a look at the product area level, in here we have a product lead, which is a key role. Product area lead has the sole authority over product scope and decisions for approved initiatives. Product area lead is responsible for working with customer stakeholders, define and prioritize product features, and also developing business cases for new initiatives. Product area lead also is estimating the value expected from initiative. And let's not forget this time about facilitating portfolio refinement meetings and being accountable for vision and strategy of product area. In Equinor, product area lead is also very often responsible for budgeting requirements within the project scope. So it's taking the responsibility for project management. And that means that also this individual will be responsible for MVPs and continuously updating those. Yes, I wouldn't like to forget about one more thing in here. So product area lead is responsible for the backlog, especially features, and sometimes supports building epic backlog for the portfolio owners. But product area lead is not responsible for writing user stories. And just to finalize in here, key ceremonies are portfolio wall meetings every 2 weeks, and my favorite, retrospective and demonstration. And in the last level, here we will move swiftly to the team level. In the team level, product owner has classic responsibilities as defined in a Scrum guide. Teams follow standard ceremonies also as defined in a Scrum guide. But what I want to really stress, and again, this is about my favorite ceremony, retrospective. Regular retrospectives are crucial for creating high-performing symphony orchestra. This is something what my team is helping to achieve. So I would like to introduce my team right now. We are called Agile Competence in Equinor, and we are a group of coaches with a very ambitious goal to enable shorter time to customer value by inspiring and transforming the way Equinor works together. Our service portfolio consists of those four biggest blocks or quadrants, if you want to say. First of all, one-to-one coaching sessions, coaching of projects with project leaders, product owners, team facilitators. We are also coaching leadership teams in the domain of agile projects and portfolio management. Here, of course, a business agility and high-performing teams. We also deliver courses. I will shortly explain our courses to you. And lastly, we support a project work. So let's have a look at some experiences from Agile projects. And this is going to be on a shoestring, as I could talk about it for many days. There are smaller and larger projects, some with big achievements, some with not too many. And probably I will be using some oil jargon in here, which not everyone understands. But I will be available after the presentation if you have any questions. As little as I know about this industry, I could probably explain some of those. So experiences, let's have a look at that. Why don't we? First of all, I would like to tell you about the Johan Sverdrup Reservoir Experience Platform. So the Johan Sverdrup is one of the 5 largest oil fields in the Norwegian continental shelf. The field had opened a production at the end of 2019, and for us in Equinor, it was a digital flagship with this emphasized focus on digitalization. This Reservoir Experience Platform project was a joint effort between many different disciplines, but mainly software innovation, side by side with the reservoir modeling team. Together, they have worked previously in a traditional waterfall approach, and that did not work too well. So a new way of thinking, experimentation, and trying new things led to new ways of working. The team implemented agile ways of working as a fundament in this particular project. And one of the key reasons for it was to enable time to market. So just after starting to work Agile in 2 months, the team was able to release the software for subsurface data. That was their first MVP. Without this way of working, they say actually that they would be still in planning phase. The next one is a hackathon I actually had the opportunity to work with. RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation, and it is a software application which can be programmed to replicate the actions of a human being interacting with a user or interface or other computer system. RPA team has automated 50,000 hours last year, and it was really seen as a great success. Our coaches joined the team for 1 week, moonshot or hackathon, where our customers and developers were working together. Every day, we were performing a retrospective. As a result of that week, we improved planning, task definition, also estimation, prioritization work. And team felt that boost of energy, collaboration, and morale. Knowledge transfer and quality has improved too, but first and foremost, the team has delivered 20,000 automated hours, and the customer satisfaction went off the roof. The next one is the integrated operating center. It was launched in January last year, and it consists around 100 employees from Bergen and Stavanger who are moving from offshore to onshore, to operate platform from onshore. The IOC provides actually support to all installations in the Norwegian continental shelf. About 90% of IOC works Agile today. Some of the biggest achievements of this group was when 30 developers aimed at supporting this operational and maintenance team of 70 engineers. That was about 2 years ago, where they created that real live demo visualization and problem-solving solution. Within 4 months, using or following Agile way of thinking, IOC reduced technical debt from 60% to 10% and improved successful calculations from 40% to 90%. So Agile brings hands-on quality and delivered on daily basis. Digital twin, it is a virtual representation of an asset used from early design through building and operation. Digital twin is a representation which shows us a physical or how the physical device or an asset actually operates. Here, Agile project delivery model is used for seamless integration of a new and old legacy data systems. This digital twin in our eyes can be seen as a bridge between the physical and the digital world. And with Agile way of working, we can actually deliver on customer priorities and customer needs much faster. And I am aware of my time, so I will just quickly tell you about one more example in here, end-to-end maintenance, because it is a little bit more special. In this project, we seek to ensure correct maintenance of our offshore platforms. So it is definitely unrelated to software industry. So we want to do the maintenance at the correct time with the correct amount of effort. Continuous improvement in disciplines like that and close cooperation with operation would really increase the maintenance process and actual saving. So our ambition is to ensure competitive and cost-effective operation. And here Agile really supports us. So how do we do it in here? A network of teams, each responsible for specific equipment group, working in 1 week sprints, focuses on portfolio approach and prioritization. And based on this improvement, teams have delivered suggestions for the maintenance program and reduced scope already by 10%, which in a scale, it's absolutely huge. And I will swiftly go to actually a little bit about our struggles. I think that in here we would like to, maybe I will not have that much time actually to explain everything, but we have performed a survey amongst our employees where we have mapped the struggles of Agile projects. And here's some results I'm briefly presenting. The key challenges we experience are related to introducing the iterative approach, well, are that the majority of the projects in Equinor are still used to a structured capital value process. Also, the second most important challenge in here is that organization is not capable of dedicating full-time resources. Teams say that often they're slowed down by surroundings not working according to Agile principles, resulting in actually spending more time than necessary on reporting, making some detailed plans too far in the future. This challenge we are still trying to address with our scale model. And projects which are actually going through those distinguished decision gates from planning to building to testing, as we know in a water-like projects, it is actually very difficult to go back to change something that was not well thought in the concept stage. And for that reason, many of the projects were actually stopped this year because of 2020. Project leaders also have highlighted that there are no incentives for the units to allocate full-time resources for the projects. Individuals also want to be exposed to many different projects for career progression. So as a result, individuals are partially allocated to teams, and that high performance symphony is rarely possible. Additionally, most of the teams also expressed that they could have benefit from training in applying Agile ways of working. And for that reason, my team has designed the Agile course portfolio. Our first portfolio looked like this, and we experimented with it for 2 years. It was a series of classroom courses, starting with Agile Fundamentals here on the left, which was 1-day course, which provided fundamental knowledge needed to work with Scrum and Kanban in really fun and practical way, because we were doing Lego, building Lego. The course was also a combination of a theory and team-based exercises. And that's actually the second one, the Agile Practitioner, was more about that. After that, our individuals could join on different tracks: product owner track, Scrum Master track, and Agile for Leaders. Each track was also finalized with certification. We were still running these courses in Q1, and then we had to change swiftly. And we did so. We sliced our classroom courses.
Sorry, Katarzyna, but I have to interrupt your presentation. We are running out of time.
Oh, I would talk for just another minute or so, but
okay. So if
thank you. I lost track of time.
Okay.
Yes, so I can just say that currently we have created our open-ended online programs, and we are experimenting with those. These are videos which we recorded throughout the summer, and they are available for our employees across the globe. So these were our efforts in creating high-performance symphony, and probably it's going to take us some time to have this beautiful music played everywhere, but we are well on our way. So thank you for that, and yes, slides will be available.
Okay, thank you, Katarzyna. That was really, really interesting presentation. I think we're a bit ahead of our schedule, But I noticed there are some questions in the Q&A session. Unfortunately, the break actually starts, but actually the good news is that Katarzyna, I hope that you are available for people in the first floor, meet the speaker stand. So
Yeah,
those of you who have asked the interesting questions about the projects and their relationship with epics and features, and maybe the key principles of Equinor's agile practices, maybe you could continue the discussion in the tables.
no problem at all. I will
Okay.
be available for next couple of hours, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's very good.